Chapter 23. These are the last words of David. The declaration of David, son of Jesse. The declaration of the man raised on high, the one anointed by the God of Jacob. This is the most delightful of Israel's songs. The Spirit of the Lord spoke through me. His word was on my tongue. The God of Israel spoke. The Rock of Israel said to me, the one who rules the people with justice, who rules in the fear of God, is like the morning light when the sun rises on a cloudless morning, the glisten of rain on sprouting grass. Is it not true, my house is with God? For he has established a permanent covenant with me, ordered and secured in every detail. Will he not bring about my whole salvation and my every desire? But all the wicked are like thorns raked aside. They can never be picked up by hand. The man who touches them must be armed with iron and the shaft of a spear. They will be completely burned up on the spot. These are the names of David's warriors. Josheb-Bashebeth the Tachemonite was chief of the officers. He wielded his spear against 800 men that he killed at one time. After him, Eleazar, son of Doda, son of an Ahohite, was among the 3 warriors with David when they defied the Philistines. The men of Israel retreated in the place they had gathered for battle, but Eleazar stood his ground and attacked the Philistines until his hand was tired and stuck to his sword. The Lord brought about a great victory that day. Then the troops came back to him, but only to plunder the dead. After him was Shema, son of Agi the Hararite. The Philistines had assembled in formation where there was a full field of lentils. The troops fled from the Philistines, but Shema took his stand in the middle of the field, defended it, and struck down the Philistines. So the Lord brought about a great victory. 3 of the 30 leading warriors went down at harvest time and came to David at the cave of Adullam, while a company of Philistines was camping in the Rephaim valley. At that time David was in the stronghold, and a Philistine garrison was at Bethlehem. David was extremely thirsty and said, "If only someone would bring me water to drink from the well at the city gate of Bethlehem." So 3 of the warriors broke through the Philistine camp and drew water from the well at the gate of Bethlehem. They brought it back to David, but he refused to drink it. Instead, he poured it out to the Lord. David said, "Lord, I would never do such a thing. Is this not the blood of men who risk their lives?" So he refused to drink it. Such were the exploits of the 3 warriors. Abishai, Joab's brother and son of Zeruiah, was leader of the 3. He wielded his spear against 300 men and killed them, gaining a reputation among the 3. Was he not more honored than the 3? He became their commander even though he did not become one of the 3. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, was the son of a brave man from Kabzeel, a man of many exploits. Benaiah killed 2 sons of Ariel of Moab, and he went down into a pit on a snowy day and killed a lion. He also killed an Egyptian, an impressive man. Even though the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, Benaiah went down to him with a staff, snatched the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and then killed him with his own spear. These were the exploits of Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, who had a reputation among the 3 warriors. He was the most honored of the 30, but he did not become one of the 3. David put him in charge of his bodyguard. Among the 30 were Joab's brother Asahel, Elhanan, son of Doda of Bethlehem, Shammah the Harodite, Elika the Harodite, Helez the Paltite, Ira son of Ikesh the Tekoite, Abiezer the Anathothite, Mabunai the Hushathite, Zalmon the Ahohite, Merai the Netophathite, Heleb son of Baanah the Netophathite, Idai son of Riba from Gibeah of the Benjaminites, Benaiah the Pirathonite, Hidai from the wadis of Gaash, Abialbon the Arbathite, Asmaveth the Barhumite, Eliabah the Shaalbonite, the sons of Jashan, Jonathan son of Shammah the Hararite, Ahiam son of Sharer the Hararite, Ahiphalet, son of Ahasbai, son of the Maacathite, Eliam, son of Ahithophel, the Gilonite, Hezro, the Carmelite, Paarai, the Arbite, Igal, son of Nathan from Zobah, Bani, the Gadite, Zelek, the Ammonite, Naharai, the Beerothite, the armor-bearer for Joab, son of Zeruiah, Ira, the Hithrite, Gareb, the Ithrite, and Uriah, the Hittite. There were 37 in all. Chapter 24. The Lord's anger burned against Israel again, and he stirred up David against them to say, "Go, count the people of Israel and Judah." So the king said to Joab, the commander of his army, "Go through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan to Beersheba, and register the troops so I can know their number." Joab replied to the king, "May the Lord your God multiply the troops 100 times more than they are, while my lord the king looks on. But why does my lord the king want to do this?" Yet the king's order prevailed over Joab and the commanders of the army. So Joab and the commanders of the army left the king's presence to register the troops of Israel. They crossed the Jordan and camped in Aurora, south of the town in the middle of the valley, and then proceeded toward Gad and Jazer. They went to Gilead and to the land of the Hittites, and continued on to Dan-Jain and around to Sidon. They went to the fortress of Tyre and all the cities of the Hivites and Canaanites. Afterward they went to the Negev of Judah at Beersheba. When they had gone through the whole land, they returned to Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days. Joab gave the king the total of the registration of the troops. There were 800,000 valiant armed men from Israel, and 500,000 men from Judah. David's conscience troubled him after he had taken a census of the troops. He said to the Lord, "I have sinned greatly in what I've done. Now, Lord, because I've been very foolish, please take away your servant's guilt." When David got up in the morning, the word of the Lord had come to the prophet Gad, David's seer. "Go and say to David, 'This is what the Lord says. I am offering you 3 choices. Choose one of them and I will do it to you.'" So Gad went to David, told him the choices, and asked him, "Do you want 3 years of famine to come on your land? To flee from your foes 3 months while they pursue you? Or to have a plague in your land 3 days? Now consider carefully what answer I should take back to the one who sent me." David answered Gad, "I have great anxiety. Please let us fall into the Lord's hands, because his mercies are great. But don't let me fall into human hands." So the Lord sent a plague on Israel from that morning until the appointed time, and from Dan to Beersheba 70,000 men died. Then the angel extended his hand toward Jerusalem to destroy it. But the Lord relented concerning the destruction, and said to the angel who was destroying the people, "Enough, withdraw your hand now." The angel of the Lord was then at the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. When David saw the angel striking the people, he said to the Lord, "Look, I am the one who has sinned. I am the one who has done wrong. But these sheep, what have they done? Please let your hand be against me and my father's family." Gad came to David that day and said to him, "Go up and set up an altar to the Lord on the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite." David went up in obedience to Gad's command, just as the Lord had commanded. Araunah looked down and saw the king and his servants coming toward him. So he went out and paid homage to the king, with his face to the ground. Araunah said, "Why has my lord the king come to his servant?" David replied, "To buy the threshing floor from you, in order to build an altar to the Lord, so the plague on the people may be halted." Araunah said to David, "My lord the king may take whatever he wants and offer it. Here are the oxen for a burnt offering, and the threshing sledges and ox yokes for the wood. Your majesty, Araunah gives everything here to the king." Then he said to the king, "May the Lord your God accept you." The king answered Araunah, "No, I insist on buying it from you for a price, for I will not offer to the Lord my God burnt offerings that cost me nothing." David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 20 ounces of silver. He built an altar to the Lord there, and offered burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. Then the Lord was receptive to prayer for the land, and the plague on Israel ended.